Okay, so quick rundown of the steps in substitution method. So step 1 is rearrange one of the equations to make one variable the subject. Then step 2 is substitute this rearranged formula into the other equation. So then step 3, we can solve the new equation. And step 4 is substitute the solution back into the rearranged formula so we can solve that for the other variable. And step 5 is just a check method to make sure that the values work in both of the original equations. Alright, so let's look at one question here. So let's call this equation 1, call this equation 2. So step 1 is to rearrange one equation to make one variable the subject. So let's rearrange equation 1 and make k the subject. Okay, so rearrange 1. So we've got k minus 2j equals negative 3. So if we add 2j to both sides, k will equal negative 3 plus 2j. Alright, so this we have done step 1. So the next thing to do is substitute the rearranged formula, which is this, back into the other equation. So the other equation we have is 2k plus 3j equals 22. Let's call this 3. So for step 2, we want to sub 3 into 2. Okay? So 2k plus 3j equals 22 becomes 2. K gets swapped with this, so we have negative 3 plus 2j plus 3j equals 22. And then the next step, we want to solve the new equation. So step 3, 2 times negative 3 is negative 6 plus 4j equals 22. Add 6 to both sides. Divide by 7 on both sides, so j equals 4. Alright, so we have our first variable solution. The next step, step 4, is substitute the solution into the rearranged formula. So our rearranged formula was k equals negative 3 plus 2j. So that's going to become negative 3 plus 2 times 4. So k equals negative 3 plus 8, which is 5. Alright, so we have our two solutions. Now the last step is to check that the values work in both of the original equations. So our original equations are k minus 2j should give us negative 3. Alright, well, do our values do that? So our k is 5 minus 2 times j is 4. 5 minus 8 is negative 3. Okay, this one works. Next is 2 times k, so 2 times 5 plus 3 times j is 4. That's 10 plus 12, 22. Okay. So we can conclude that our answers are correct. J equals 4 and k equals 5. Brilliant. Let's do one more example. So we've got 2x plus 3y equals 19. 3x plus 2y equals 21. Let's call this equation 1. Call this equation 2. So again, the first step we have to do is rearrange one equation to make one variable the subject. So let's rearrange. So this is step 1. Let's rearrange equation 1 to make x the subject. So then 2x plus 3y equals 19. If I minus 3y from both sides, 2x is 19 minus 3y. Then if I divide by 2 to get rid of that 2, x equals 19 minus 3y on 2. Alright, that's step 1 done. Step 2, we now have to substitute the rearranged formula into the other equation. Alright, so step 2 is substitute 3, the rearranged formula, into equation 2. Alright, so 3x plus 2y equals 21. 3x becomes this, times 19 minus 3y divided by 2, plus 2y gives us 21. And now we will do step 3, which is solve the new equation. So step 3. Alright. 3 times 19, which is 57, on 2 minus 9 on 2y plus 2y equals 21. And then I'm going to multiply by 2 throughout to get rid of the denominator. So that leaves me with 57 minus 9y plus 4y equals 42, which is 57 minus 9y plus 4y gives us negative 5y equals 42. Minus 57 from both sides, so minus 5y gives us with 42 minus 57, which is negative 15, and divide by negative 5 on both sides, and we are left with y equals 3. Alright, so we have solved the new equation, and so now the next step, step 4, is substitute the solution into the rearranged formula. Alright, so step 4 is sub y equals 3 into equation 3, our rearranged formula. So x equals 19 minus 3 times 3 over 2. 19 minus 9 gives us 10 divided by 2, which is 5. So now we have our two solutions, y equals 3, x equals 5. And the last step we have to do is check that the values work in both of the original equations. So the original equations we have are 2x plus 3y equals 19 and 3x plus 2y equals 21. So let's check the first one. Our x value was 5 plus 3 times our y value was 3. What does that equal? 10 plus 9 is 19. So this works. Okay. A second equation, 3 times x is 5 plus 2 times y is 3. That's 15 plus 6, 21. Okay, so we have shown that both the methods work.